Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Hoyt, candidate for Vermont State Governor, and like most Vermonters, you've heard me do a lot of complaining lately. From massive election fraud to fugitive, never representatives who break federal gun law while passing unconstitutional gun law for the rest of Vermont, from criminal prosecutors who target citizens to race baiters and a failing, oppressive education system. If your topic is corruption in Vermont, then you've got a lot to complain about. And I think the more exposure the better, so we can start to clean this stuff up. How much money do you think we'd save with an honest government? As governor, my plans to fight corruption, to defend the people and the Constitution, to secure our Second Amendment rights are givens, and I wish those were the only issues here. As Vermonters and as a nation, we face many challenges ahead. I'm interested in not only exposing and removing it, but I want to talk about real policy and how we can fix all this mess. My number one concern and policy program is opioids, and it comes with a giant dose of economic growth and development. Already the largest pandemic in world history, opioid overdose has killed more people than the Black Plague and than any other cause. It passed automobiles as a leading cause of accidental deaths over a decade ago. In the next 10 years, it's predicted that America is going to lose 600,000 Americans to opioid overdose. That's more than World War II. And that's just deaths. Addictions are already in the tens of millions. Here in Vermont, our death rate is about 17 per 100,000 people, and we're one of the middle states so far in terms of death. I don't know about you guys, but I am sick and tired of watching our friends and neighbors die as our politicians and leadership do nothing except talk about it. We're talking about an entire generation that's being completely wiped right off the map. Families are destroyed, taxes rise with crime rates, and stress on our emergency services and funeral home reaches a breaking point. So how many people need to die before we do something? It's always someone's son or daughter. And how about a plan with some real teeth and a return on investment? Before we get there, what are our options? What about the people who want tougher laws, longer sentences, the ones like Governor Scott who refuse prevention and treatment and go with money-making incarceration method or simply do nothing? It's just God sorting out the riffraff. I cannot imagine that way of thinking. I have compassion, sympathy, and empathy for all Vermonters, including the individuals and families who struggle with addiction. If we go to that extreme, we can follow the Philippine president who gave police the order to shoot all suspected drug dealers or users on sight. And what do you know? It worked. Drug use is way down in the Philippines, but I can't imagine using that tactic in the United States or anywhere for that matter. There's smarter, better ways. The war on drugs has failed in this country and it cost us billions of tax dollars. I applaud President Trump for his war on the cartel and traffickers. I agree that we should hold large-level dealers and traffickers to the fullest extent of the law. We should make examples out of them. But at the same time, I also want to fight the demand. What about the guy who fell off the ladder at work and his doctor said, "Here, take these"? Or even the recreational or experimental drug user who got sucked in. I have empathy and sympathy for all these people. So I want to treat this as a sick part of society rather than a criminal part of society. I've researched it a lot. I've done a lot of interviews, and everyone that does heroin that I've met hates it as much as they love it. We end up with about a 3-day window where these people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're looking for help. So they're out of drugs, they're out of money, and we tell them for $800 and for a couple weeks, we might have a bed ready. That's unacceptable to me. It's not really rehab either. We put you in a 28-day detox program, if that, and send you right back to the same circumstances and same people you started in with no support until we Narcan you again and try rehab for the 27th time. This isn't treatment, and it's not the fault of the person trying to recover. It's another monumental failure on behalf of our government. As governor of Vermont, I will give the people the help they need, and I'll lead Vermont and the nation out of this opioid crisis. Under my policy, we follow President Trump with swift and maximum charges for dealers and traffickers, but we give the everyday user a real chance at real rehabilitation, including mental health care and family supports. Under my plan, when a kid says I need help, we give it to them instantly. Education and prevention are also important factors. The next time we save a kid's life with Narcan after they fall out in a local convenience store bathroom, there's more than just the catch and release program. That will get you mandated rehab, and I'm talking about real rehab and help. 3 months to 18-month rehabilitation. The 18-month course is going to come with jobs training, family support system, mental health, and even aftercare, where we can get you into sober living and start you on the process to becoming a successful part of our community. And I can already hear the next question. Who's going to pay for all that, Kev? Well, we are, and I'll show you not only how to save lives, but we also save money. We can actually use existing money from law enforcement and incarceration. All these low-level users and victims need help, not jail. And this program would also relieve the stress on our overcrowded prison system, our EMS, our police, all of our emergency services, and our tax base. We take all that wasted money and put it into education, prevention, and treatment instead. I'm talking about hundreds of facilities all across Vermont state. That brings instant and huge economic growth and development to Vermont state. To build all these facilities, I'm going to need architects and engineers, and contractors and builders, and electricians and plumbers and therapists and nurses and doctors, and you guys get the idea. Once the facilities are up, there will be nothing like it in the country. In Portugal, these practices reduced heroin usage by 75%. It reduced overdose deaths by 85%. Both drug usage in general and crime are way down, and so is the cost for the taxpayer. These policies will save Vermonters' lives, and then Vermont can lead the nation out of this crisis. Now let's talk ROI, return on investment. We never hear this term from our Vermont legislators anymore because there's never any return. Imagine Vermont with this incredible healthcare system and all these facilities helping not only Vermonters, but our neighbors also. I don't want people to die in New Hampshire or New York either. Obviously, there's charges for these programs and services. This is money for Vermont's future. This is the biggest world problem we face together as humans. This crisis affects all other things, from safety and taxes to crime and death. It's always someone's son or daughter. It's always someone's brother, sister, wife, husband, loved one, and it's time we do something. This proven policy has been tested, it's successful, and the world precedent has already been set. And all we need to do is do it. My name's Kevin Hoyt, and I'm a candidate for Vermont State Governor, and that's my plan. Well, one of my plans. We've got a number of policy videos coming, and I think you guys are going to love them. As always, I'm inviting you guys to get involved. Come tell me how to make great policy better. I'm for that, and hopefully we'll see you at the polls. Thanks for watching.